At 50 years old, you should not be forgetting names you've known for 20 years. You should not be walking into a room and forgetting why you're there. And you definitely should not feel like your brain is slowing down. But here's the shocking truth. You can eat healthy, you can take your daily supplements, you can look fit on the outside. But if you miss this one critical shift, afterward your memory will quietly begin to decline. Memory loss in your early 50s is not normal. It is common, but it is not normal. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain what's really causing your memory lapses, why your brain feels foggy, and most importantly, the 3 powerful science-backed ways to reverse early cognitive decline and sharpen your brain again. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could protect your brain for the next 30 years. As we enter our 40s and 50s, something subtle begins to change. What used to feel effortless, remembering appointments, multitasking, recalling names, suddenly requires more effort. Many adults assume this is just part of getting older. But here's the reality. Your brain doesn't simply deteriorate at 50. It responds to what you give it or what you fail to give it. Today, we're going to uncover why memory loss begins earlier than most people expect and how to take control of it starting now. Let me tell you about Joanna, a 52-year-old professional, successful, active, sharp her whole life. Then she started misplacing her keys, forgetting client details, struggling to find words mid-sentence. She panicked. Is this early dementia? But after deeper evaluation, the issue wasn't dementia. It was metabolic brain decline. Here's what most people don't realize. Your brain uses more energy than any other organ in your body. Nearly 20% of your total energy goes to that 3-pound organ inside your skull. By your early 50s, 3 major things start happening. First, blood flow to the brain decreases. Second, hormone levels drop, especially estrogen in women and testosterone in men. You've been told memory loss is purely genetic, but chronic inflammation is a slow, increasing factor. Another myth? If I do crossword puzzles, my brain will stay sharp. Mental games help, but they don't fix inflammation, hormone decline, or nutrient deficiencies. And that's where most people miss the real cause. Here's the hidden truth. Early memory loss in your 50s is often driven by 3 silent disruptors: insulin resistance in the brain, chronic inflammation, and mitochondrial fatigue. Let me explain. Your brain cells rely on glucose for fuel, but when you consume sugar and processed foods, your cells can become resistant to insulin. This means glucose doesn't enter brain cells efficiently. The result? Brain fog, forgetfulness, mental fatigue. Some neurologists even refer to Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes because of this connection. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and processed foods raise inflammatory markers, damaging neurons over time. A study in the journal Neurology found higher inflammatory markers are directly associated with faster cognitive decline in adults over 45. And finally, mitochondria, the energy factories of your cells, become less efficient with age. When mitochondria slow down, memory slows down. This is not about intelligence. It's about cellular energy. If the problem is metabolic and inflammatory, it can be improved. And that brings us to the solution. The first powerful brain restorer is omega-3 fatty acids. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, and DHA, a type of omega-3, is a major structural component of brain cells. When DHA levels are low, communication between neurons weakens. This can impact cognitive function and overall brain health. Taking a high-quality omega-3 supplement in the morning with food improves absorption. Aim for a combined EPA and DHA dose that supports cognitive health. The mistake people make? Buying low-dose fish oil or taking it on an empty stomach. Let me tell you about Mark, 54 years old, constant brain fog. Within 3 months of consistent omega-3 intake and reducing processed food, his mental clarity noticeably improved. The second brain-saving tool is strength training. Resistance training increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. This protein acts like fertilizer for your brain cells. Studies show adults over 50 who strength train 2 to 3 times weekly improve memory and executive function. Late morning or early afternoon is ideal, when cortisol levels naturally support activity. It's the best time for kids to be active. A common mistake is only doing cardio and neglecting muscle-building exercises. It's essential to balance both for optimal health and fitness. Muscle is not just for appearance. It regulates blood sugar and reduces inflammation, directly protecting your brain. The third solution is optimizing sleep, specifically deep sleep. During deep sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system. It clears waste proteins that accumulate during the day. If you're sleeping 5 or 6 hours, you are not giving your brain enough time to detoxify. Margaret, 60 years old, believes she just needed less sleep. After prioritizing 7 to 8 hours and reducing late-night screen time, her word recall dramatically improved within weeks. Small changes matter. A consistent sleep schedule is key. Avoid heavy meals before bed. Magnesium glycinate at night can help if needed. When you combine omega-3 support, strength training, and restorative sleep, you attack inflammation, insulin resistance, and mitochondrial fatigue simultaneously. That's how you reverse early decline. Now, this is where most people go wrong. First, stop relying on sugar for energy. That afternoon pastry or sweet coffee spike is damaging your brain more than you realize. Second, stop multitasking constantly. Chronic mental overload elevates cortisol, which shrinks the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. Third, stop ignoring hydration. Even mild dehydration reduces cognitive performance. Your brain is highly sensitive to fluid balance. These may seem simple, but over years, they compound into significant decline. You cannot out-supplement poor habits. Memory loss in your early 50s is not inevitable. It is often driven by insulin resistance, inflammation, and cellular energy decline. You can fight back by nourishing your brain with omega-3s, building muscle through strength training, and prioritizing deep restorative sleep. Here's a bonus tip most people overlook. Learn something new, a new language, a musical instrument, even dancing. Novelty stimulates new neural connections and keeps your brain adaptable. Your brain thrives on challenge. Now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed memory changes since turning 50? Which of these habits have you been neglecting? Tell me in the comments section. And in our next video, I'm going to reveal the early warning signs of dementia that most people ignore, and the one blood test that could predict cognitive decline years before symptoms appear. If you care about protecting your brain for the next 20 or 30 years, make sure you're subscribed. Your future self will thank you. See you in my next video.